Okay, so this video we're gonna paint our parts. So I've actually done a fair amount of painting off camera, and that's basically just with rattle cans. So rattle cans probably the easiest way to paint anything, as long as you prepare it correctly, a primer and then paint. I don't think there's any sort of disadvantage to painting or powder coating. I think paint can do just as good a job. So before everyone asks what colour paint I'm using, because I know that's going to be the #1 question after this video. So I use a few different colours. So these locking nuts for the rear roller, so they hold the rear roller basically together. I like to use this colour here, so Chevrolet Orange, DE 1620. So this is a Dupli-Colour. Quite often I use this colour for either this part or the cutting reel. So this cutting reel I might actually paint black, but that's the colour that I use, so Chevrolet Orange. It's also the colour that's on the Kirby engines, so pretty much an exact match for a Kirby engine. So if you're doing one of them up, that's also handy done. Right, next colour I've used, again a Dupli-Colour. Dupli? Not sure I'm saying that right, but this is a low gloss black, so DE 1634. So this colour I'm actually really quite impressed with. Once it's dried, it actually sort of resembles like a powder coating or maybe an anodized black. So it's not quite as glossy as gloss black, it's just a low gloss black. But I think that if you put this next to something that was anodized black, I don't think you'd actually really tell the difference, to be honest. It's really, really good. So that's the next colour I've been using for anything that's painted black. And the #1 colour that I get asked for is the green. What colour green do I? So the colour green that I spray my mowers with is a custom colour. So it's not one you can go buy off the shelf. I actually took part of my mower into a paint supplier. I got them to colour match the colour. So they've used, this basically is the Hammertone binder, and then they add colour to that to match whatever colour you request, basically. So I'm not trying to hide what colour it is or anything. There's a sticker on here, and on this sticker it has absolutely no details of what colours or how much or anything like that. I did buy this colour or this paint from Peninsula Paint Supplies. They're at Redcliffe. I frequent there a lot for work, so it's sort of convenient for me. If you do go into that particular shop, you can actually get this colour exactly. There's a code, so the code's Jordan Scott Bonnar Green Ham. So I'll show you a photo of this sticker. If you ask for that, I'm sure they can put that into their computer system and bring up this exact colour. Otherwise, my best advice is to go and get it colour matched yourself to the mower that you want. Scott Bonnar Restoration Facebook page, there's quite a fair amount of details on there to what colours and what codes match what sort of paint. So here's the label. Maybe pause it on that if you need to read it, but hopefully the camera got that. So basically everything that's black I've painted already. Next step is to do the Hammertone green, so I'm going to do that with my spray setup down the end. So it is a gravity fed spray gun. Now another question I'm going to get asked a lot of, what tip am I using? Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. It came with the gun. I'm not sure what they supplied with the gun. If it was marked on there, it's rubbed off in the previous times I've cleaned it or whatever. So I don't know what tip. It's just a gravity fed air gun. So I'm no pro spray painter, and I definitely don't do this very often. I have watched quite a number of YouTube videos how to set a gun up. So there are particular parameters that you sort of try and aim for, which does give you sort of a better finish, especially with the fan of the spray. That's one thing I had a lot of trouble with, but I've since learnt quite a few I've since learned how to set up the gun a bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, don't forget a spray mask. Spraying this sort of stuff does get into your lungs, and I tell you what, you'll just be sitting down later at night really feeling it. So I'll set the camera up behind me over here, see if you guys can see. I'll do my best, but I don't really want to get paint all over my camera, so I'll definitely show you before and afters of the paint job that I've produced. So here we go, let's get into it. One other thing when spraying Hammertone, it's a very good tip. So Hammertone, if you put a light coat on first, just sort of like a light tacky coat, don't try and get a good finish or anything like that, just get a good finish, but just a light coat to initial. And then once you got that light coat on there, the second coat, if you do a bit of a heavier coat, so the more heavier coat you do, the more hammer finish that you'll actually get. So just the first coat, don't really try and get a hammer. Well, I don't try and get a hammer finish. Just sort of try and get paint on there to sort of get a layer of paint, I suppose. And then the second coat, that's when I really try and focus on getting the hammer effect that I desire. So we'll see how we go. Alright, so that's my first initial spray. Once I've got that, sort of let it dry, let it get tacky so I can touch it with my finger, and then we'll go a second coat. So I'll bring the camera a bit closer. You can see sort of what I've done there. You can see it's not very heavy, it's not very hammered sort of looking. I'll also give you a tip: spray the underside, or spray like a test piece, just until you get a bit comfortable with the gun, sort of know what you're doing. So I've sprayed underneath my deck, so it's basically a part that you don't really see, or, well, it's a part you see, but you don't see underneath the deck very often. So I'll bring you a bit closer and you can have a look. Okay, so here's the piece. Sorry about that light. You can see I don't really have too much of a hammered effect happening yet. Over here I did go a little bit heavier by accident, so this particular area does look a lot more hammered than say down here. So I'll let that dry for a bit. Once I've got that sort of tacky feel to it, I'll hit it again. So we'll just cut to that, I suppose. Okay, so off camera I powder how I did the three pieces that I had hanging up here. So I've done the other side of this one. I think it's a nice flat piece. It should be easy to see on the camera. So it's just tacky still. I'm going to hit that again, and this time I'm going to go a little bit heavier with my coat. That's going to give us that hammer effect, so watch along. Right, so if we can quickly get close, I'll show you. Here's the sort of hammered texture going on now. So you can sort of see here is probably a little bit heavier than the rest of it, and it's sort of giving us a bit more of a hammered appeal instead of up the top there. So I mean, I'm no spray painter, so it's pretty hard to get it sort of perfect. I'm quite happy with that overall outcome. Just thinking about it, you're actually going to have an engine sitting there. You're only really going to see this little piece, and over there is going to have like a lot of coverage there anyway. So at the end of the day, if you're not happy with it, strip the paint off, go again. It's not the end of the world. Basically, that's the process to the Hammertone look. So I'm going to power ahead, do all the parts that I've got out, and once that dries, then we're almost close to putting the mower back together. So hopefully you learned something today, guys. Please like and subscribe. It goes a long way. So give me a thumbs up, or even give me a comment. That, you know, all those sort of things help me out a lot. So we'll see you around. Alright, so what a big day today, all painting day, I suppose you'd say. So as you can see hanging up here behind me, I've got all my parts, they're all painted. The only things that I can think of that still need painting, or that I'm going to paint, are the handlebars. So I'm going to do them in the same black that everything else is painted in. I'm quite happy with that finish on that. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do the handlebar lever, and I think I will also paint these. So I am reusing my real bearing carriages, so I think I will paint them. They're an aluminium. I've cleaned them up best as I can, so I might paint them, maybe silver or something like, I don't know, we'll see what colour, maybe black, I don't know. So pretty much that's the end of the video. I just thought I'd show you that all the parts are now painted. There's no catastrophes, I suppose. Everything sort of came out quite good. So it won't be long now before we're pushing bearings in and putting the mower back together. So I've still got to get a few parts. I need nuts and bolts, and I've got all the bearings. I've got to order a couple of small parts like woodruff keys, so I might have to put an order into George at mopartsoz.com.au, but he's really quick, so should have those parts, no worries. So hopefully the videos will keep coming. By the time you see this, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks anyway. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.